usually in scenes, the way I cut is, you start wide, end close, and that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. But there are reasons to break that. And I think something that's interesting about this, when we show the character, we start with his face. And I think that that's important because the emotion of the story goes from, all right, he's at peace, and then throughout, like, oh, here's a noise, and that peace is disturbed. And so I think, like, it makes sense to kind of start with a close up where you can really see that, like, all right, he's relaxed. You start really focused on that, like, that sense of, all right, this hiker is found peace. There's nothing distracting from that. Even though in the context of the edit so far, it doesn't present a great sense of space. But that's also part of the I don't know. I kind of have this theory, kind of about, like, you can present like a wide shot where you can see the character like in full. This is a little bit wider, and or like a shot like this, and this doesn't appear till 30 seconds in. Even though there's other shots for context, we see his feet, which I think are an interesting shot because, like, there's this, like, even just there's expression just in the foot position. I knew that at the time, that I was like, this feels a little silly, but I think there's foot acting that I can do that will help tell the story, and drawing attention to, like, all right, he's on the tip of his toes and then crosses his legs as he tries to say, like, all right, there's something out there, but I'm going to try to be comfortable. I'm going to try to ignore it. I came out here to seek peace, right? But I guess, yeah, like I was saying, it's like I could have started on a shot like this that gives you context for where the character is, what they're doing, the fact that he's sitting on a bench, and you see it all. You see the trail. Like, it gives you complete context for the film. But I start with a close-up, and it's kind of out of context. You see the bench, you see the hiker, you see the trail, and it's all separate. And it isn't until about 15 seconds in that you can a little bit more clearly see him sitting on the bench. And I think just from context clues, you can kind of understand what's going on. And we change angles, and you get a little bit better view. And then you see his feet, and you understand the space a little bit more. But I also think that in drawing that out, in like gradually giving context, I think that helps with the suspense just a little bit, to go like, okay, I see this actor, but where are they? I don't know yet. So let me keep watching and then get a little bit more context each time. The context builds, and that is a part of the storytelling. Using the edit, using cinematography in the edit, cutting between angles intentionally to tell that story. And usually it's the opposite. Like I said, usually I want to give you all the context so you understand the space, understand the scene, understand what the character's doing. But in a film like this, I wanted to kind of go like, benched? Like, what does that mean? Okay, there's the bench, there's the character, and then slowly reveal a little bit more until you understand more as the film goes on. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And that was a decision made in the edit. This film, like, I storyboarded it. Like I said, I had a pretty clear vision for the pace of things. I was following the script pretty closely. But there were a lot of decisions that really made this film get made in the edit. And I think that's true with every film. I think every film, to a certain extent, is made in the edit, even if you have a plan. There's things that you just don't know till you have your footage, and you can actually make decisions about, the film with what you actually have. I think that's the truth. But in these shots of him, like, reacting to the noise, and you have these different angles, right? You have this kind of medium here, a little bit wider with the tree in the foreground, this close up. All of those shots are basically a variation of the same shot. I got them at the same time, and I played through, acted out basically the whole scene. You can kind of see I cut back to the same angle every now and then. Like this angle of the tree, that was one of my favorite angles, just because it kind of it frames the character, right? You get that kind of frame within a frame with the tree in the way, and I like that. I like that depth, and it kind of feels like he's a little bit more. It makes the woods feel a little bit claustrophobic, because that bench is pretty much in a pretty good clearing. Like, when you're there, it feels pretty open, but I wanted to make the woods feel a little bit more suffocating. And I think that helped with that. But yeah, I mean, I basically ran through the whole action in all these shots. Like, in this shot, like, this had a reaction to the noise, both reactions where, he looked one way and then he got up the second time. Same with this shot. Same with this shot. And same with the leg shot, too. I mean, Everything was just running through that whole first part of the script, basically until it cuts to B-roll and there's kind of a reset, and then the rest of the film was staged a lot more carefully.